I started protesting and things like that and realised that it wasn't really creating any solutions. Disconnected from nature, we've become disconnected from our next door neighbour and stopped relying too much on the governments and corporations to find solutions for us. At what level do you class that as? So I'm Lewis Vernum. I am the founder of Project Abundance, and we work to regenerate the environment, health and communities with a focus on natural food production, effectively. Tails into a whole lot of other stuff, but yeah, that's the short pitch. But we work on environmental issues, we work on the food production and health and nutrition. We're also working with kind of SEND groups, long-term unemployed, people with mental health issues, to try and channel it all into a bit of a healthier community, effectively.
Okay, so that's a lot. You're doing a lot.
Yeah, yeah, keeps us busy.
So talk to me about the business. What does it do exactly?
So we host weekly workshops, ranging from kind of food production to composting and waste management, all the way through to kind of creative workshops from candle making to soap making, flower pressing, herbal teas. The list goes on that side of things. We work with businesses to help towards their net zero goals and kind of build strategies towards a greener way of doing business, so to speak. And we're working with schools and kind of colleges again to try and empower the community into a more natural way of doing things, I guess. So
It's incredible. Okay, so why this business? How did you get into this?
For me, it wasn't expected. I studied music at uni, and then I kind of hit a low point in life, and I think I was assessing all the problems, and I started protesting and things like that and realised that it wasn't really creating any solutions. So yeah, hit that low point, went soul searching in Bulgaria, which was supposed to be 6 months, turned into 4 years. And I was just assessing the environmental issues, the food systems, the mental health problems and all these things, and trying to find, I guess, the reasons why we're so disconnected. And then trying to find the solutions to try and encompass all of that really. So yeah, the model we've got, just by using the natural food kind of methods, we're helping the environment, we're helping the community because they've got healthier food or access to healthier food. They're out in nature, they're kind of combating isolation, they're just building a community and conversing, learning new skills. It's it's powerful. And I think a lot of these skills we've lost over the years, which kind of we lose our empowerment from that. If you can't grow your own food or build your own house, or the more reliant upon the systems we are, I think the more people feel less secure.
So is this more about like giving people the power back?
100%, yeah. Confidence wise, nutritionally, both kind of mentally and physically. And what we try and do, we're very much volunteer kind of run, I guess, but we try and find each person's individual skills, abilities and interests, and try and, how would you say, empower and encourage those particular people into the roles that they choose would benefit the project and them and the community effectively. So yeah, we're about empowering people and the environment at the same time and working with it. So
It's a big problem you're trying to tackle.
yeah, massive. Massive. But I believe in the butterfly effect and the ripple effect, and you can tangibly see that when you positively affect one person, they then affect another person. And we've had people that kind of come at some of the lowest points in life, and now they're running workshops for us, and now they're inspiring other people to do similar. And I think people underestimate the power of the individual, if that makes sense.
What are some of the challenges you're facing currently then?
I guess a lot of it's economic, isn't it? Because we are volunteer kind of led or run, I guess retention's a big thing. Trying to get people inspired to take the action, and then when they do, life circumstances might crop up, for example, so suddenly they go off and find work, which leaves a bit of a hole in the organization. So that's the struggle, is trying to keep it consistent without it just being reliant on a few people. So yeah.
How do you remain driven? Because it's a big problem you're solving. B, there are many hurdles, obviously, as you just mentioned. How do you remain so driven to continue pushing this project?
Um, for me, I see it as partly a moral obligation. And two, if we don't start looking at these solutions, then yeah, we're going to be in some big problems. So I kind of see that, yeah, that keeps me motivated to at least play my part, if that makes sense, and try and encourage people to play their part. And I think if that time comes, I can say that I've done what I can to, yeah, to try and make it a better place, really. So,
So you personally, like, what's the kind of impact that you want to have on the world? That might be through the business or just you personally.
um, I want to inspire people, really. Inspire people to take action on a community and environmental level, but also on their own kind of dreams and passions, and yeah, following that kind of intuition. I think I think we all kind of follow the money because we have to follow the money. We have to pay bills. We have to do this, that, and the other, and it takes a lot of sacrifice to sacrifice that to follow your dreams in those harder points. But yeah, I believe that everyone should try and at least put a few hours into coming away from what I guess they're doing just for the sake of having to do it, and then try and encourage ways of putting time into something you want to do until that becomes your income and your yeah, your basics, so to speak.
It's a horrible cycle because obviously you want to do the stuff that you want to do, but you also got bills to pay and families and love to feed and all that stuff. It's really hard to get lost in that sometimes, and then you end up like not spending enough time doing the stuff that you want to be doing. And then you get older, and it's too late, and then you're
Totally.
yeah.
And I think that's the trap, isn't it? And it's trying to escape that trap, which is easier said than done. But go on.
What could we be doing more of every day? Even the small things at home that we can. That's helping us to reconnect.
And I'm a big advocate of plants and growing vegetables and growing herbs and growing things like that. And I think even if you're in a flat, there's something kind of wholesome about just growing herbs. Like it gives you patience, it teaches you to kind of nurture, and I think there's a lot to be said for just the simple house plants. And if you can turn that into food as well, which is nutritious and chemical free and all that side, there's a lot of things that I think can bring a bit more well-being, so to speak. But then it's finding those extra hours and pushing yourself a bit further than yeah, we all have those full-time jobs in a lot of people's circumstances, but there's still another 8 hours in the day that you could push towards that dream, I guess. And it's inspiring people to take those hours and utilize those hours. Yeah, life's very short, so
For real. What does it mean for you to reconnect with Mother Nature?
For me, I think we've all become so disconnected from like the seasonal foods to the embracing the rain and all this sort of stuff. I mean, we've kind of evolved to be outside and growing our own food and things like that. So I think it plays a massive part on just your immune system, your kind of mental well-being, your general health, for example. There's so many studies about kind of forest bathing and grounding, and so yeah, I think there's subtle differences. They're kind of just very subtle changes that when you look back, you realize that it does make a difference, if that makes sense.
So we spoke to many founders who are like almost trying to reconnect with nature. It's really nice to see, for one. But I was saying to a lady earlier, I was like, during COVID, so my mum passed away at the beginning of COVID, And obviously it was a difficult time. But I remember going for a walk with my wife and my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law was like, "Why don't you just hug that tree?" I was like, "Stop it, man! It's so weird. Like, what are you on about?" She was just go and hug it. I was like, "Okay, cool." So I hugged this tree, and it was so grounding in that moment. I was like, "Why don't people do this all the time?" Like,
it is weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it is very hippified.
Yeah.
But I think when you look at like we're electric, or yeah, we've got kind of electromagnetism and all this kind of aura around us, and yeah, when you look at a plug socket, it's got a grounding kind of wire where it discharges all the excess energy. And I guess we used to walk around barefoot and we would let that energy kind of disperse through the ground, whereas now, yeah, we're going into different levels now, but now we've got soles on our shoes and we're disconnected from that connection, I think. And again, that has effects on your mental psyche, your physical abilities, and yeah.
Obviously you mentioned this, there's different levels to it, but it's all these small things that happen gradually that end up becoming like you become so distant from where you first started. It's like, well, how do you even get back anymore?
Massively.
That's a big problem.
It is, and we're staying on that as well. And I think I had this conversation with someone earlier. It's like small changes, bit by bit. If we're living in, I guess, and I'm still guilty of it, but when I go through stages of junk food and this and that, and then it's very hard to switch from A to B just like that. You have to almost transition with loads of small habits and little changes that, like you say, eventually compound into something that's like much bigger, if that makes sense, and long-lasting change. But yeah, it's those little bits and those little bits of discipline, isn't it, to get the bigger results.
So what does success mean to you, and how has your view of success changed since starting the project?
It's a very good question. It's a very good question. I think there's different levels to success, isn't there? I think for me, it's seeing the tangible changes and like on an individual level and kind of a community level. And I think it's knowing where that point is. Where's that unsuccessful point? Like, really, I guess we're successful now because we've already kind of done various things to change people's lives. But what level do you class that as, success? So it's, I guess that depends on the individual, doesn't it? For me, I'd like to do a whole lot more impact, and there's a whole lot more to be doing. And I guess when I start, which may never be, but when I start seeing people that aren't hungry on the streets and aren't in these, when we're not seeing these problems, then I feel like we've, at least kind of touched towards success. But yeah, that's a big mission. So
amazing. I think what you're doing is great, and I really hope it succeeds and
thank you.
You get what you need with it. My last question. I have a magic mic. Now, if I give you this mic, whatever you say into this mic, the whole of society is going to hear it. What is the message that you want to spread?
I think start reconnecting with your communities. We're not just become disconnected from nature, we've become disconnected from our next door neighbour and our communities. So start reconnecting, start helping each other, start growing your own food before we lose those skills, start kind of growing your own medicines, start just working together and creating some resilience, and stop relying too much on the governments and corporations to find solutions for us. I think we've got to take a bit of responsibility ourselves in creating that way. So join your community, get involved.
Awesome. Is there anything you want to say directly to whoever's going to be watching this?
Check out our website, www.project-abundance.co.uk, and follow us on all the social medias. And thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Appreciated.
It's been a pleasure speaking to you.
Likewise.